Welcome back. Let's talk to Eddie Tofpik. He's the head of technical analysis and senior market analyst at ADMISI. Morning to you, Eddie.
Good morning.
Right, Bitcoin. I've read the fundamentals. I've read so much
there
about
are fundamentals?
I've read the press commentary over Christmas, trying to get my head around it. What are the charts? Are the charts working on Bitcoin?
Yes, they are. They have always been working on Bitcoin. Where we've projected Fibonacci levels ahead of time, they've always worked on the upside. And now we're looking at the ones that are retracing back down again. We've seen them move down. Look at this. We had a shift pitchfork, which I drew way back in middle of December. The market dropped just before the new year, and the remnants, which some people spoke about. Oh, these people, the bubble. I'm glad they're getting their just desserts, etc. And I'm like, listen, hang on, hold on a second. This is just a market. You've got to treat this like any other market. You may not understand it, but then go and do some education for yourself, research it. We've seen a pullback in it. We've seen a lovely pullback.
So did the pullback go to a chart point?
Yeah, exactly. It went down to the shift pitchfork. And the previous one went down to the 50% at 11,291. It literally came down and reversed straight off of it. I mean, that was a 50% fib of the move, I think stretching back to, when was it, the last major move up again. It's not the 50% fib, that's at 9,000, but I haven't labelled it because it was just obvious it was going to go down to that level. It came down to that, bounced back above it, and now we've got some new fibs. We've got 15,414, which is the resistance, and then we've got the support, which is around 12,953, which is that time level, that angling line you can see heading up from the bottom side. Now, there was a bullish harami when it bounced off of it most recently, Japanese candlestick pattern, and it's followed through with that. It's not really gone above that 15,414, so we're caught between resistance 15,414 and 12,953. But at the moment, there isn't anything directly bearish. There would have been a short trend line. You could have put a bearish trend line there, except for the fact it went through it 3 days ago.
But I look at this, okay, and I'm thinking fast market, I'm thinking big trading ranges, I'm looking at inconsistencies now within the uptrend, and obviously it's a fantastic uptrend in 2017. Would that not suggest that this is coming to an end short term?
No, because we've had that already. We've had that coming to the end feature already. That happened round about just after the middle of the month, round about the 20th, just before Christmas. That's the end of the month feature. But you've looked at some of the people, say on, as you say, the fundamental side. You've had founders, one of the hedge funds. They're heavily involved in that. They've been released that they're heavily involved in it. You have the whales, the ones who've been long of Bitcoin from right at the beginning. They're still holding on to the things. And then you have the loss of Bitcoins, the early guys who've literally put it onto hard drives and then forgotten where it was and forgotten the password and can't get hold of it and end up in a landfill because their computer, whatever, has ended up there. At this particular point in time, it's not looking too bearish because the highs are a little bit lower, but the lows are also higher. So we're seeing a nice, gentle move up. And the moves, yes. I've been tracking this since 2014, and I remember the Russian Ponzi scheme where it dropped 29% in one day, yet it recovered. I think it was about 3 weeks later it was back up to the previous highs. So this doesn't surprise me this is a characteristic of this market. It is a volatile market. It trades 7 days a week, 365 strokes 6 days a year. 24 hours a day. This is a characteristic of this market, and I don't necessarily think it's going to go down that much. I think you're going to see some support at this particular point, and it's going to go and test that. But it'd be very interesting to see what happens if it gets down to, say, 12,606 down to 12,291 again. That's where the keen support in the short term is.
Right.
And you look at the holders of this. There are people who are speculating on this, but there's also people who are holding it longer term. I wrote an article in one of the magazines recently about the doomsday preppers, the people who would buy gold and then go into a bunker in their back garden somewhere in the Midwest. They're now also buying Bitcoin. When you think, well, actually, there's not going to be a network to which to do anything with, well, they're buying that as well. There's all sorts of different people buying this coin. And now you have a futures market, and I've said all along, the futures market is the most bearish event that happened, and that is where that top came from. It's because you had
the sellers came in.
Yeah, you had the CFE. We had the opportunity to sell.
Yep.
You have the opportunity now to sell on margin, though it may be quite high, is sell on margin and stay short. At the moment, I think the market's in a backwardation on the futures markets, which indicates that possibly you're going to see the prices going higher in the near term as well. But the one event which came through, which was a new futures market ability to sell, that's now been taken into the market. And let's see what's going to happen. At this particular point, I still think it's gradually going to be moving higher. At this particular point, I don't see any reason why not.
Eddie, we'll leave on that thought. This market may be going higher. Eddie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.